Hello, I'm Macy Moore. In this video, I'll introduce you to Your Voice 2022, an information and engagement campaign to bring awareness to the Indianapolis-Marion County redistricting process for 2022. The goal of Your Voice campaign is to hear from Indianapolis residents like you about your wants, needs, and vision for mapping future city-county council districts. So you may be asking, what is redistricting and why does it matter? Redistricting is the process by which census data is used to redraw the lines and boundaries of electoral districts within a state. This process affects districts at all levels of government, from local school boards and city-county councils to state legislatures and United States House of Representatives. The way that district lines are drawn puts voters together in groups. Through elections, these groups decide who will represent them at local, state, and national levels. The way a district lines are drawn is important. Ultimately, it can change who controls a governing body, change what policies get passed into law, and how resources are allocated. So how is city government in Indianapolis structured? Just as the United States government has the president and Congress, Indianapolis has a mayor who serves as the chief executive and council that serves as the legislative branch. All other Indiana counties have county councils and each city has its own local council. Indianapolis is unique in Indiana and in fact in much of the country because since 1969, the city and the county have been unified in many respects. We call it Unigov. There is a single legislative body for the city and county called the City-County Council. The county continues to have several other officials who are separately elected, such as the prosecutor, clerk, recorder, assessor, and the treasurer. The Indianapolis City-County Council initially had 29 members, 25 who were elected from geographic districts and 4 who were elected at large from across the county. The law changed a few years ago, and now we have 25 councilors who are each elected from separate geographic districts. How are council districts set, and do they change over time? The U.S. government conducts a census every 10 years. Once the numbers are in, a process is set in motion to review geographic districts from Congress to the state legislature to local councils around the state. State law requires those districts to be reviewed to account for the new population information. The census dictates how many seats in Congress each state will get, which is why states gain or lose seats in Congress every 10 years. State legislative leaders then work to ensure the state's congressional districts all have roughly the same number of residents to ensure equal representation. They also do the same for the districts of Indiana General Assembly, both the House and Senate. This process is called redistricting. Redistricting should accurately reflect population changes and meet statutory and other legal requirements. This process is used by lawmakers to equitably allocate representation in Congress, state legislatures, and county and municipal councils. Each state has its own process in drawing district maps. By statute, the City-County Council must redistrict Marion County Council districts before the end of the second year after a federal decennial census. This means the City-County Council must review the districts and make any changes in 2022. State statute requires the City-County Council to pass an ordinance that divides Marion County into 25 districts that, 1, are compact, subject only to natural boundary lines, such as railroads, major highways, rivers, creeks, parks, and major industrial complexes. 2, contain as nearly as possible equal population, and 3, do not cross precinct boundary lines. Precincts are the smallest geographic units in legislative districting. Several precincts are grouped together to make up a council district. The precinct boundaries must also be reviewed. The county executive, in the case of Marion County, the mayor, is charged with the task of re-precincting in conjunction with the new census. This is underway and must be completed before council redistricting can begin. How will the City-County Council determine the new district boundaries? The current City-County Council leadership team has decided to solicit broad public input on the council redistricting process. Accordingly, All City County Council members and all residents of Marion County have the opportunity to provide input into the redistricting process. Engaging Solutions is a local consulting firm that will facilitate public engagement in the redistricting process, so all communities of interest will have an opportunity to be heard. A community of interest is a group of people from a particular geographic area who have similar social and economic interests. For example, some residents may want to share how important a community center is and why it would be valuable to have its service area and the community it serves be inside one or two districts instead of being split up among many districts. How will the public have an opportunity to provide input in the redistricting process? There will be 9 public forums where Marion County residents can have a voice in the redistricting process. Participants will be encouraged to share their perspective on the greatest strengths of their local community, along with their thoughts about what makes their neighborhoods unique and what their hopes are for its future. Each forum location, date, and time is listed on the Your Voice 2022 website. If you cannot participate in a public forum, you are encouraged to provide your comments in the designated space on the website. In March 2022, after all forums are complete, a report will be published on the public input process. Maps will be introduced to the City County Council for review and consideration in the spring of 2022. And a final redistricting ordinance will be submitted to the City County Council for a vote at the conclusion of the redistricting process. Please plan to participate in a forum. This is an opportunity for your voice to be heard in the Marion County redistricting process. We look forward to seeing you at one of the forums. Okay, thank you guys for coming in the weather. We greatly appreciate it. I will go ahead and get started with a short introduction for everyone here. Well, welcome to Your Voice 2022, the Franklin Township Redistricting Forum. Your Voice 2022 is an information and engagement campaign to bring awareness to the Indianapolis-Marion County redistricting process. The goal of Your Voice is to hear from Indianapolis residents about their priorities for mapping future City County Council districts. This is the early stages of the process, and your voice here really matters. In these forums, we hope to engage communities to greater understand the communities of interest within each district, to assist in the further mapping process. I hope you have had the opportunity to review the information in the space on the easels. This information is depicting the current district makeup. Additionally, I hope you all have engaged with the activity and have provided us with information to better understand your community here in Franklin Township. On your seats, we have provided some public input guidance, laying out some of the things we hope that you will be able to come up here and share about your community. In the case that you need just a little assistance or guidance to think about what you would like to share today. Additionally, I would like to acknowledge the counselors and everyone here in the room today. If you could just wave your hand so everyone knows who you are. Thank you. We have Aaron Freeman and Jack Sandelin, correct? Did I pronounce that correctly? And Dan Boots. So thank you so much for coming out tonight. We did originally. Oh, I'm sorry.
Counselor Hart as well.
Counselor Art.
Hart.
I'm so sorry. Hart, I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
We did have a short video. We did run into some technical difficulties with that video. If you go to Your Voice 2022, that video is available on our website. We did not want to take up any more time trying to figure out our technology debacle, so I greatly apologize. So as we move into the public comment portion of this meeting, we would like to remind the public of a few ground rules. In order for everyone to have a fair chance to speak and be heard, it is important that we each observe the following. First, each speaker will be limited to 2 minutes. Second, any public comment must reasonably relate to the redistricting topic. Third, speakers who stray from the subject under consideration or become repetitive may be asked to move on to their next point or conclude their comment. And then finally, attendees who are disruptions that prevent tonight's meeting from proceeding in a reasonably efficient manner will be removed. Please remember that some types of threatening speech or incitement of violence aren't protected under the First Amendment at all. We will deal with those issues if they come up, but we do not suspect those will be issues tonight. I now open the floor to anyone who would like to speak. Anyone at all?
I'll start.
Yeah, come on up.
Last time I saw this, as soon as one went, kind of got the ball rolling. So, just to reintroduce myself, my name is Michael Paul Hart. I am the local district counselor. This is District 18. And there's just a couple points I want to make about the process that we're going through right now. What we're doing here, I believe, is helpful in terms of getting information from the public, but I also believe we're only halfway getting the information that we need. I think it's very hard for the public to provide information without fully knowing what their district is, what their precinct is, and who their counselors are. So a common thing that I ask people when I talk to them is, do you know what precinct you're in? Do you know who your counselor is? And a lot of the time that answer is no. So when asking somebody to come up and say, how should we change your district going forward, it's going to be very hard for them to articulate that because they already have a hard time understanding what it is today. So just getting information today is helpful, but we need to do this process again once we have maps, so we can look at those maps and then bring community input on that, so we can actually have input on what that is. In addition, I'm a member of the City County Council, and I do not have access to the mapping software. Caucus should be equally eligible to create maps and present them to the people of Indianapolis just the same as the majority caucus should. In addition to that, considerations for District 18, because I know I'm real short on time here, should be keeping like precincts together. The very southern part and eastern part of Warren Township and the northern and eastern parts of Franklin Township share a lot of similarities in the makeup of their districts. They're very rural and they tend to be more custom homes with estates. So to keep District 18 in the makeup that it is and keeping it strong, we should keep those like communities together instead of trying to draw any lines between them, because there's a lot of similarities in terms of the way that the development of those parts of the district are. There's a lot of residential development coming. We need the same expansions in roads. We need the same expansions in sidewalks. We need the same expansions in drainage. And so by keeping them together, we'll be able to get those like things for the district. So there you go.
Would anyone else like to speak? You do have the cards on your chair. If you're thinking of anything you would like to provide as input, you have those for guidance as well.
Is there anybody here who has a question?
This is only an input process, so you guys will provide us input and there would help response. I'm sorry. You can send an email to yourvoice2022@engagingsolutions.net, and we'll try to get your question answered.
So the council's not District 18 commission?
I'm sorry, we're not.
I'm just shocked because I spent an entire calendar year hearing about how my Democratic friends are in favor of redistricting.
And what happened at the state level, Senator Freeman?
I'm shocked. I thought for sure
We
that
were shocked too.
Democratic friends would have
We were shocked that we're holding 3 times as many meetings for this as the state did statewide.
Okay, well, if you guys would like to make public comment for it to be on the record, I would urge you to come up to the podium and make your statements.
Thanks for the opportunity. I'm Judy Vaughn with Common Cause Indiana. We are urging the City County Council to create a Citizens Redistricting Commission that would be multi-partisan, because it's really important that everybody have an equal voice in this process. We're also urging the council to make public mapping software available so that not only the minority caucus, but everybody in the city who would like to participate by trying to draw district maps would have the opportunity. The state did that and they got a lot of really good input that way. So it's really important to make this a community process and not one that just pits one political party against the other. So just encourage folks to make your voices heard. We are still encouraging this to happen, and I think there's a possibility that it might, but we just need to continue to encourage redistricting be done right with a focus on communities of interest. I would echo the councilman's call for another round of meetings out in the community once maps are available, because again, that's the kind of concrete input that I think the public is really wanting to have the opportunity to provide. So thank you for the opportunity to make those points again.
Good. Hi, my name is Courtney. I was not planning on speaking tonight. I just came to hear everyone else's thoughts. I have no political affiliations whatsoever. I just live in the neighborhood. And from what I've heard and what I continue to hear is that people in our community don't know who their councilmen are, and they don't know who their representatives are. And I feel like that's not our fault. I feel like we don't see those councilmen or councilwomen in our neighborhoods. We don't see them at our events. We don't see them at our church or at our school PTA meetings. We don't see them. We don't know who they are. So when these representatives come to the community and ask us for our participation and our vote and our support, it's like we don't know to give it to you because we don't know what you're about or what you stand for. And I, for one, would like to see more community engagement. I feel like you get what you give. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to speak?
I'm straight.
My name's Cindy Mowry, and I've lived in Franklin Township almost all of my life. And I would like to say that I think most of us find it a little disappointing that we don't have drafts of maps here or something for us to look at. It appears that you have a pretty good grasp on our township and our district, so I think if we could have gone one step further with having something that we could have looked at and maybe made notations for that. My other comment would be addressed to the young woman that was here and said that she'd like to see her elected officials around. I wholeheartedly agree, and in Franklin Township, our people are out and about, but they have to know when your meetings are. So if you've got something in the Informer or whatever, I mean, we would be more than willing to talk with them. Most of them are sitting over here. I don't think that anyone would shun away from a meeting or trying to get acquainted with their constituents. Thank you.
Just briefly, thank you. I'm Dan Boots. I'm a city councilor for District 3 of the Northeast Side. And just to address some of the comments that have been made, I think they're all valid. We too do not have maps to look at as council, so what I would encourage you to do is look at the current map. That is accessible. Pull it up and play with it yourself. If there are parts of that district that you're in that you think, why is this neighborhood cut right down the middle? Like I have some neighborhoods that the school districts conflict with my council district. A neighborhood cut right down the middle, doesn't even follow the street, cuts between houses, really disruptive for the unity of those neighborhoods when they do that. So those are the types of things we're hoping that you look at the current maps and maybe say, this makes no sense. My family member lives down the block, they're a different precinct, they're a different district. That doesn't make sense. We're all same, we're all the same neighborhood association, what have you. We should be in the same precinct or same district. So I would encourage you to go to the maps and pull those up. They're online. You can get all your maps. In fact, there is software, ma'am, where you can pull up and it'll tell you from your home address, your city rep, your state rep, your senator, your congressman, what have you. So they're there. Some of our fault is not getting that information out. So that's a valid point. So I would just encourage you to do that, send comments in. and really look at the maps and think should it be stretched? Should it be squeezed? Should it be elongated? What logical additions or subtractions make sense for your council district? So that's why we're trying to encourage more people to input. We don't have proposed maps right now. We apologize for that. It's very early in the process. This is the only second one I've been to. So we're trying to, this is really early in the information gathering stage. So just stay tuned, stay plugged in, and hope to look for your input. Thanks.
Would anyone else like to speak? Again, if you guys are looking for guiding principles or guiding comments, please look at the. Can I speak again? Yeah, if no one is speaking, you're more than welcome to.
My name's Cindy Mowry, and I work in voter registration for Marion County. And I want to tell you that when Dan says, check the streets, you want to check the streets, because I can tell you that we have had people that have had their house divided. The living room's in one township or precinct and the bedroom's in another. So when we get the proposed maps or whatever, please take a look at them, because it is very important that we're aware of it. I believe we had, 3 of those during the last census when they did that. So if you do get a chance to look at it, please make sure that all your lines look good and all that. Thank you.
If I may just add to that without getting up, excellent point. The precinct maps have been redrawn too. So your current precinct may have changed. So you need to go to your own map now. And even for the primary, determine your precinct. And as you should know, you do not need to vote in your home precinct anymore. It's a universal vote anywhere in the county. But if you want to know your exact precinct, it may have changed because the maps just got redone. That's late last year, early this year, I believe.
Yeah, and the precincts have been renamed.
And renumbered.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you want to make sure you take a good look at them.
Yeah.
Would anyone else like to give comment? The floor is open. Okay, thank you all for participating in the Your Voice 2022 Franklin Township Redistricting Forum. Our next meeting will be on Monday, and we will have that information available on the website if you're looking to attend another forum. Similar to this meeting, there will be language services available at that meeting as well. So we want to give a thanks to Luna Translations for being able to provide translation services at today's meeting. Again, I thank you for participating in tonight's forum. If you for any reason did not provide public comment and or think of another point you would like to make, please head over to the website, yourvoice2022.com, and fill out the comment box and or send an email to yourvoice2022@engagingsolutions.net. Thank you again for coming. If you did not get a chance to engage with the activity on the side, we would like for you to go ahead and do that for us as well. Thank you so very much and have a wonderful night. Thank you.